my fellow Americans. This is former President Barack Hussein Obama, and you're listening to the Mad Titan Podcast. Please be sure to support this young brother from Chicago, Jay Washington, because he's a funny bastard. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It is episode 35 of the Mad Titan Podcast with me, your resident supervillain, Mr. Jay Washington. What's going on, people? Y'all already know, if you've been asking for an episode, how it goes. I told y'all a lot of shit is slow during the summer. We got all that big news that came out of San Diego Comic-Con and whatnot. Then things just went to kind of a screeching halt, which is gonna happen. But I got news, I got stuff for you, and I got a dope guest in the building with me. I met this brother 8 years ago. Yeah, about right. 8 years ago at the Bay Area Black Comedy Competition in Oakland. Yes. Yee, what else so long ago? And he's a comic, he's a comedian, he's funny as hell because this nigga had a bit doing this whole thing about his socks, and I'll never forget crying, laughing about that shit, man. He's fucking hysterical. He had his hour special on Comedy Central, man, which was kind of dope. He also has the Gimme 5 kickoff, which is also his birthday bash, going down August 7th at the Bronson Bar in Los Angeles, California. I'll give you more info on that. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the homie B.T. Kingsley in the building with me. What up, bro?
What up, though? Young Jay in this thing.
I got you on here finally.
Yeah, man, I didn't know you was a super villain, man.
A resident super villain.
What's your superpower?
I just keep talking shit nonstop. I'm the only villain that just won't stop talking shit.
Just stop. You keep unveiling the plan. No, just stop. No, then there's gonna be more.
And then there's next steps and the next. He's been talking for 7 hours.
My lady.
You will. Funny, man. Yeah, man.
I have some of my favorite superheroes are favorite supervillains are like super random. Like, I love Fitzroy. Fitzroy is like easily one of my favorite supervillains. It's like, because he was killing people. Every time he grabbed that neck, he was done. I was like, oh, he kills everybody.
Oh, he kills for real.
Yeah, a huge Fitzroy fan.
You know what? It was also funny. I remember what brings to this is one of the first times you saw me on Marvel Movie News.
Yes.
Because you was like, you hit me up instantly, was like, nigga, what? Wait, what are you doing?
Nah, because you know I'm Team Marvel all day, man. Expect them. I be banging Marvel on fools all the time, so I'm die hard about my Marvel shit. And I used to watch it all the time, and then you probably like, hey, that's my goddamn friend.
You know, it's cool because a lot of people be seeing me on shit. I have a lot of niggas from the hood. By the way, y'all already know, for those who are new to the podcast, if you just found out about it, what I do here is I get you caught up on everything that's happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. Basically, cape, cows, and masks. This is barbershop talk for nerds. So shit's gonna get real. If you're gonna have sensitive ass ears, stop it. I'm just telling you now, if you're going to be in your feelings about something, stop the episode. That's not my fault. I'm giving you advance notice, and your notice is passed.
Spoiler wording, it's going to be some cussing.
It's going to be a lot of fucking cussing.
Goddamn it, shit, hell.
So, like, when the first time I did Collider Movie Talk, I was telling people, I had homies back from Chicago, like, these motherfuckers is killers. They was like, yo, what you doing on Movie Talk?
Right.
I was like, what you doing watching Movie Talk? Like, this shit was confusing. Like, it was confusing, because I'm like, you don't seem like the type that want to know about what Quentin Tarantino's doing now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What Spielberg's got going on.
I mean, time to time you be on the block. It's rough out here.
You know what I'm saying? I like the way they shot this. You know what I'm saying? The frame rate was beautiful. Right. I'm like, nigga, what? So, yeah, man, like, that is always one of the things that's been dope, though. People find out I'm doing this stuff, and I always tell them I love doing it. I have fun. I like talking about the shit.
Right.
It's always good talking about it, and it's always good when you find people you can talk to with it. And I'm having the podcast has been great because all the different guests I've had on who've been like diehard nerds would just be some of the realest people. Because that's the thing. That's the thing when everybody come into the crib with me, I'm like, yo. They'd be like, yo, so how do I gotta be? Do I have to say this? Can I not say that? Because you hit me with that.
Yeah, I'm like, are we cousin or not? Because people trying to keep it clean, especially in this world.
Which I understand that. I understand and I respect that because of, you know, there are a lot of children, there are a lot of young adults who want to hear about these things. However, there is a section of mature individuals who
give a fuck.
and it's not just to be vulgar for the sake of being vulgar. It's not just being crass for the sake of being crass. It's just that I've had people come up to me at cons on the street like, yo, thank you for what you do. And there's been a lot of black men and black women, which I'm like, yes, please. First of all, y'all humble the fuck out of me.
Right.
Because I never thought I'd be a voice to my community.
One of the few.
One of the few that people can connect to.
Yeah.
And I never thought that if I have to carry that weight on my shoulders, I'm going to carry it proudly and I'm going to make everybody proud of it. I'm not just going to carry this, you know what I'm saying, and have this responsibility and let it fall by the wayside. I'm not going to do shit like that, man.
Absolutely.
Before we get to talking about all this shit, man, I want to ask a little few things about you so people can get to know who B.T. Kingsley is, man.
Gotcha.
How did you get started and where did you get started?
Comedy-wise, I started comedy in Houston, Texas. At a place called The Joint. Oddly enough, I did not know what stand-up comedy was. Like, when you watch Def Jam, Comic View, Eddie Murphy, any of these things, I'm watching them on the TV. So this is a TV show. This is just the Eddie Murphy TV show thing where he just does funny stuff. He just talks funny. I never correlated that was something that people did. So even, like, because, you know, 19, 20, 18, I'm going to the clubs.
Yeah.
I'm going to see bitches. I'm going to eat and movies. That's it.
In that order.
In that order. It's like there's food. I get to the food maybe, but the bitches and the club is like that's what I would be focused on. So when you would pass comedy clubs, because there was a bunch of them, I still didn't correlate it. It didn't translate to me that this is a live entertainment space where people could go do live entertainment. So I randomly stumble into a comedy club on my way to a club. I'm literally like, it's just a place called comedy. It just said comedy on the bill. I'm like,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, I walk in, I'm like, it is people on stage, and this ain't Eddie Murphy, and this ain't Martin, and this ain't none of them. I'm like,
this ain't who you seen on TV.
Yeah, and I was always class clown. This guy, I was like, what are they doing? I was like, it's stand up. You could just. I said, wait, you could just do it? And they were like, yeah. I was like, no, get the fuck out of here. You can literally just go on stage. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, they was like, you want to go up? I was like, nigga, no. I was like, I'll be back in a week. And I literally came back the next day. And I have not been off stage since.
How long ago was that?
Woo, 13 years now? 13, almost 14 years.
I tell people, stand-up comedy is, when the first time you do it, one of two things are going to happen. You are going to love it or you are going to hate it.
That's it.
There is no in between.
That's it.
People are like, well, what if I feel certain? Nope, you're either going to love your experience or you're going to hate it and be done.
Because I know you got these kind of fans. If you are considering doing stand-up, if you're talking to a comedian and you want some advice, do not ask nobody for no advice until you get on stage.
Yeah, because the only advice I'm going to tell you is get on stage.
Get your ass on stage.
That's the only advice I'm going to ever give you. And people are like, why do you say that? Because that's the only advice I can give you if you haven't done it yet.
Right.
Get on stage. You got to get on stage.
There's nothing that's going to prepare you for it. There's no world where it's going to work out. You just got to go up. You going to suck. And even if you do good the first time, you sucking is coming. It's in route.
I am a testament to that. Man, for those who have never heard my stand-up origin story, I'll tell you. So everybody knows originally I was a pro wrestler. I'd been a pro wrestler for like going on 9-10 years at the time. And I would always just write funny stuff on Facebook. It was just me. And there was a girl who had a production company. She was like, yo, you're funny. You ever thought about doing stand-up? And I was like, no, not really. I don't think I know how to get into it.
Yeah.
So she was like, let's have a meeting. Let's talk about it. So we met up, and she told me, she was like, all right, I can get you to go to a spot where it's like an open mic showcase. All you got to do is write 5 minutes worth of jokes. I was like, that's it? I was like, I talk shit on the mic during promos easily, and I make people laugh. So, all right, cool. So it was Too Much Talent Tuesday.
Oh, that's funny. I hadn't even considered the mic promo thing. Okay, gotcha. Keep going.
Yeah, so it was Too Much Talent Tuesdays at the Checkerboard Lounge in Chicago.
Shot town.
Yeah, Michi Hall was hosting, and I'll never forget. I went on stage first time, and I destroyed. And, like, it was an ego boost. Lil Rel came up to me after the show, B. Cole, Sean Morgan.
Right.
Cats I'm either watched on TV, you know, and I'm like, yo, they telling me good shit. I'm like, yo, I got this. I'm good.
Yeah.
Man, I come back the next week, did a whole new 5 minutes. I bombed so hard. And I literally had to sit around and go, wait, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
Like, I was good. And I would bomb progressively. So I was like, you know what? I'm good. I can bounce back. 2 weeks later, I joined a comedy competition.
Oh, wow.
When I tell you I've never felt so uncomfortable on stage from silence before then, nigga. everybody just sitting there quiet and just looking.
Woo!
I went in my girl's car at the time because I drove her car there. I was in the front seat crying. I was like, I can end it. I should end it.
I just drive it to a wall right now.
I should just end it. I was like, Blimey, I'm just terrible. Nobody wanted to hear me. Like,
you couldn't do shit right that night. You would have survived. Would have fucked up the car and walked out with no scratches. I can't even do it right.
Matter of fact, and not to mention, I went into the competition right in the new 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
I didn't know you were supposed to work a set.
Right.
I didn't know you were supposed to refine and, sharpen up your material. Because I remember going to the Excalibur nightclub.
Right.
And I saw Mark Simmons. I saw Ballhead. And then Legendaries. And I saw them before. But then I saw them again. They were doing the same jokes.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck are they doing the same jokes for?
Right.
Then I would go to another spot. Rumba was a spot that was hosted by J Deep. They was all still doing the same joke. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
Like, why the fuck y'all laughing at this shit? They said this already.
Right.
Then somebody was like, you have to work a set out. I was like, oh. And then I started learning, man, and it is an issue. It is not an issue. It is a thing. You have to take the good with the bad. You have to be able to withstand it, man. All the heartaches.
Now, see, you started in Chicago. So I started in Houston, and when you start in real cities, it's different. So let's talk Chicago. First of all, Chicago is I say arguably, possibly the most savvy comedy city. See, New York comics, I think, get it jaded. They think because you get to perform in all these different random accounts of rooms, and because, one, being a New York comic will make you very strong because you get to get up all the time. Mm-hmm. Okay, getting up is great. But the randomness of the rooms that you would perform in and being able to cultivate material for these people is only necessary in New York. Yeah. So it's like you go into a room of people and you think that they're black, and then you find out that
they're Jamaican or
they're Haitian or West Indian. It's like, oh, they don't relate to black shit. It's like, yeah, that's a very good skill to have. Yes, it's great. But you're never going to encounter that unless you're in New York. Right. And it creates that New York state of mind thing. It's like, I'm in New York. You can make it here. You can make it anywhere. I'm like, actually, we don't know what the fuck a bodega is in Texas.
Right. And I would tell people that. Like, same thing. There's certain things that Chicago people would do, too. So I'd be embarrassed. But go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
Now, Chicago, I believe, is one of the more well-rounded cities because of its location, right? Mm. It has its own culture, but you have you're close enough to New York to understand New York. You're close enough to the coast to get the coast, and you're in the Midwest, so you also get the southern thing. So it's like, it creates, let me tell it, arguably the best comedians. So like, if you really went through and like just started naming greats, Chicago got a long list, especially if you talk black people. But like in general, like I did it, we've done it before. I'm like, DC and Chicago are like
the two that produce the most. Yeah,
nobody wants to believe that shit. And I want to say LA or New York. I'm like, it's definitely not LA. LA has some great comedy, but it's definitely not LA.
No, it's not. It's they haven't produced.
Not people, like ultra stars.
Yeah, they haven't. People forget that. People think because people will come out here to Los Angeles where we are to blow up.
Exactly.
People will think, oh, they produced them. No, you've had these people who've come from these other cities.
Absolutely.
They come here to be seen.
Right.
They were already monsters.
Right.
So yeah.
So I go to Chicago. I decided I'm just going to tour the country. Right. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just toured the country. I did the competition in the Bay Area, met Michi, met some other comics. Yep. I was like, you know what? I'm coming to the city. So I come, and Lil Rel, Michi, and I believe Wildcat, and Dan Fool.
The Last Laugh Troupe.
Yep, they used to have a trap house. The little, now mind you would go there, and they was all they spot, but they were never there. Nope. They'd be with some chick or with their girl, with their wife, whatever. But comics would come in town, stay there. So you in the hood, staying there, whatever. I come first night, bomb. Next night, bomb. Next night, bomb. The next night is a Wednesday. I rip. But it's Tony Schofield's show, which is like a lot of different stuff. Yeah. I destroy. Nobody's there to see it. It hurt. I did good. Nobody's there. Next night, finally I have a good set. And they're like, nigga, we was over here debating how we were going to get you out of the house because you can't be around us bombing like this. I was like, they were dead ass. Dead. Like, I didn't know where you was gonna stay tonight, fam. If you would have bombed tonight, we was literally over like, man, are we gonna leave him here? Like, leave me in the middle of Chicago. I was was dead ass. I was taking it to the face. And it's different. Chicago crowds give you like a tone and an attitude. You'll get a couple of hood niggas that'll heckle you, but they ain't crazy. See, in Houston, when you bomb, niggas give you the stone face. They don't move. Sometimes a boo will give you out. No out.
Oh yeah, they'll do that. They do that in Chicago.
Yeah, take that, nigga. No. We listening.
People,
you not doing
and
good.
people don't understand this, and this is not just for black comedians. Do you understand how bad you have to be to where a crowd doesn't even want to give you the energy to say boo?
Yeah.
To say boo.
They just start talking amongst themselves. I was like,
no, don't even want to talk amongst themselves. They don't
watch
even
you take the L.
Just watch you take this L. That, like I said, I've been through them.
Yeah.
Let's get to what we're here for.
Yeah, let's get to it.
All right, so we got I got some Marvel news, man. I got a little bit of DC news. We'll kick off the Marvel news. I think one of the biggest things that just recently happened is Avengers Endgame had a deleted scene that came out that showed all of the Avengers paying tribute to Tony Stark once he gave his life.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that was the biggest news out there. The biggest news is watching Gamora skate the fuck away. Gamora like, oh, y'all here. Because people forget this isn't the Gamora that knew them.
That makes perfect sense.
It makes, she's like, I don't get, y'all just killed dad. Y'all just fought my dad and killed him and all that shit. That's cool. I ain't got nothing to do with this dude. He did. Right. That's on him. The internet had a field day with Gamora, man. And so there's been an argument, really, and I bring this scene up because there's been an argument of should this scene had been kept in the original cut of the film to follow up with the funeral.
Right.
I don't think you needed it.
I don't think you needed them both. One or the other.
One or the other. You have, and some people felt like this scene was just a pandering scene, but it's like, no, you're paying respect as the character. The characters are paying respect to the man who technically is the reason they all are together.
Not only is for if you're talking. Even if you said pandering, if anybody's you're pandering to, it's fucking Tony Stark. Right. So there's that, and then there's the flip side of like it's also like you just said, all these people are in this space because of Iron Man. Because that was one of the most interesting things in that first Iron Man when he says it, it's like, oh shit, he just. That's a totally different take than most comic book movies I've ever taken. That's a totally different. It's like. No, he just said, I am Iron Man. So I was like, we gonna end like that?
And then, I think it's in Iron Man 2, you hear Jarvis at the time say, since Mr. Stark announced he was Iron Man, there's been an upswing in people who've come out the woodworks like this.
Absolutely.
So this is all the entire world, even the villains, are thanks to Tony Stark.
Absolutely.
Even the villains. So, but nonetheless, people were saying, should the scene have stayed?
In multiple franchises, too. In multiple, like even the villains in multiple franchises, because without his technology, then these things don't happen, and they don't find it. Like,
the shit in Spider-Man stuff doesn't happen. All this, neither Spider-Man Homecoming nor Far From Home, because Mysterio doesn't have some of the Chitauri tech, and definitely the Vulture doesn't have it, nor the Shocker. But again, I agree. I don't think you needed it. I think that would have been too much because already him dying. And watching Pepper. By the way, spoiler alert, if you ain't fucking seen this movie yet.
If you have not seen fucking Avengers Endgame, I do not know what you're doing with your life.
People are like, well, people don't have time. It's been out over 3-4 months.
Right. You're tripping. You're just tripping.
But like having Pepper tell him, you can rest now.
Right.
Because remember, we see earlier, his whole mind is focused on, I have to protect Pepper and Morgan.
Right.
You can rest, Tony.
And you know what else is interesting too? And now, mind you, I'm fresh off of Endgame watch again because I just want to see it again, and I hadn't saw the newly deleted scene. I didn't see the that cut, so I was like, all right, let me go see it again. The other thing is it's just like, man, I mean, it's like kudos to Marvel, dog. The way that they have figured this out, the way that they have laid these things out, it's like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons he could literally just live his life. He got his girl. He got his wife. He got his little girl. He could literally just go out like that. Like, no, I'm good. It's the connection to Spider-Man that makes him go back. He was like, damn, I technically lost my son. I brought him into this shit, and now he's gone. And if I don't create the time machine, if I don't go back, I let him down.
Yep.
Outside of everybody else, it's like, yeah, all y'all lost a billion people. Yeah, but I can't lose what I got. But I have my daughter, but fuck, I literally kind of lost my firstborn.
Yeah, because remember, he was like, he even said it. He was like, I don't want to do it because I'll lose her.
Exactly.
That was, for Tony, his whole thing was, look, I get it. The world is fucked. People are gone.
Yep.
I get it. But I had to live, and I now have something more I live for.
Yes.
And it's my daughter.
Yes.
And as a father, I was like,
right. Right.
It's commendable. But
he was in that mindset. And literally in the movie I'm watching, and then he looks at that picture of Peter Parker, and he's like,
God damn it!
Kind of his dad too.
Yeah, he's his.
It's like I brought him into. He is definitely his Avenger father, and like every nuanced thing that happened to all the movies of all their moments.
Well, remember in Iron Man 2, he's the kid.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He's the kid.
Yeah,
Peter's the kid. It's not exactly Tom
yeah!
Holland, but
touche.
Peter's the kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is all full circle for Tony.
Yes.
And people forget that. So, but nonetheless, it is coming out. It'll be out on digital and everything. So if you want to see it, if you have not seen the scene, it's been on social media. But you're supposed to be able to get all this and see all of that happening, okay? Let me go to another bit of news. There's kind of some big news when it comes to Marvel Studios. They are looking to cast a transgender actress to use in a film very soon. Now, Marvel has said up front, Kevin Feige has definitely said that they are focused more on diversity. Okay. And I get, now here's the part where I tell you to get out your feelings. There have been a lot of white dudes on the internet, primarily white dudes, because there's also some sugar and jive black folk, and then there's some other ones.
Yeah, that little
shit. I wish y'all could have seen it, like shit. But then you have others who trust, why do you got to change everything? Some things aren't meant to be changed. Some things also have to evolve. People have to remember when a lot of these comic book characters were created, minorities, people of color, the LGBTQ community was not allowed to be acknowledged. And if they were all stereotypes.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, you had T'Challa as Black Panther, and that was something that people were like, hold fast.
Wait a minute. How dare you? He better not have on leather.
How dare you have a black guy that's the richest man? He doesn't want anybody touching it. And so the story goes, they are trying to find out where she can play and what she can portray. And I have no problem with this. I have no problem with this at all. Now, supposedly she may be that. This is what the character code. This is how the breakdown goes forward. This is brought by Geeks Worldwide. The character's code name is Jessica, and Marvel is reportedly looking for a trans woman actress of any ethnicity in her 20s and 30s to play her. Now, this could be Sarah, the anchorite who hooks up with Angela in the comics, which makes the most sense as she's currently the only established trans woman character in Marvel's universe.
Right.
Also, she could potentially, this is a stretch in a rumor, don't go around saying Jay confirmed this, she could be the queen that Valkyrie is searching for.
Jay confirmed it. We all heard it.
And Thor, Love and Thunder.
Now, technically, the beautiful part about that, you just kill two birds with one stone. See, here's my thing. I want to go back to a point you just hit. Diversity is very necessary. I am... since we keeping it funky on this bitch, some visuals I am pro at least getting the original visual first.
Yes.
This has been my hard rule. I do not care what gender, race, creed, or color that you change the comics to. Number one, you got to do it in the comic books first. It's a great litmus test to just see how people react. Nick Fury used to be a white dude.
Yeah, and then people forget that.
Yes, he used to be a white dude, and I'm okay with that.
And David Hasselhoff played him at one point.
Yes.
Never forget that.
Yes, so I'm okay, but they did the comic books first?
Yep.
One, do it the comic books first. Number two, if we're specific, now let's say we're talking mutants. If you are a furry or a colorful motherfucker, I don't give a fuck what you are. It's really irrelevant.
Yes.
It's really irrelevant if your mainstay power that I'm used to seeing you in is...
not a regular shade of human.
There's no reason to be arguing if the character's black or white if the motherfucker's green.
Yep.
I'm told... So those have been my hard rules. So somebody like a dragon face character, Saran.
Saran, yeah.
So if Saran was played by a Mexican dude, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Well, here's the problem with that. Some people will go, well, Carl Lacos, whatever his name is a white guy in the comics that becomes this pterodactyl dragon. Like, he inevitably becomes a dragon. Does it matter what the color of the person who becomes it is. And again, I will agree, because some people will give me these ideas, will throw this in. Well, what if they change Black Panther white? And here's the reason, this is why I bring that up, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If the character's race predicates the character, you cannot change it. Exactly. What I mean by that, T'Challa is predicated on being a Black African king.
Right.
He is predicated on being that. It has to be a Black person. There is nothing that says, hypothetically, ladies and gentlemen, Wolverine has to be a white person. Wolverine just has to be Canadian.
Absolutely.
He just has to be Canadian.
Right.
You know, so there are certain things like that people don't catch on to.
Even looking at Wolverine, he could technically, he doesn't have to be a white man by any stretch.
No.
He could easily be Latino or Asian.
He could, or Middle Eastern.
Easily.
Or West or Indian.
Yes.
You know, he could be those things. The only thing is that he'd be Canadian.
Yes. Now, with that being said, if I'm being fair, I like Michael B. Jordan. Didn't really like him as Human Torch. Not because he was a bad Human Torch, just because I don't want my Human Torch black. But with that being, but now we're going back into the dynamics. Number one, you didn't change this in the comic book first. Number two, this his sister Jace thing is like,
well, that was the story behind it. I will admit, in the if you don't know, we're talking about Fan Four Stick, the Josh Trank one. That was fucking terrible. It was awful. Yeah, they didn't change. They were like, well, we got Reggie Casey, who's a great actor. We got Michael B. Jordan. I can't remember who played Sue Storm. I'm about to pull that up because y'all gonna be mad at me like, oh, who played Sue Storm and Josh Trank and Fan Four Stick and Fantastic Four? Okay. She was played by Kate Mara. So you gotta make a real reason for that. You have good actors, but you can't just say, well, all right, we're gonna make them brother and sister and just have the dad be black and we're just gonna go with it. Some things you can't just do.
Exactly.
And again, as a black man saying this, there's some things you just can't do.
Yeah, it's like, because it's now we go back to like the X-Men thing, right? Mm. You kill off Scott in one of the movies before they bring him back, right? And I'm like, you guys, y'all, where's Cable? Like, certain things I'm just going to be anti. If they're brother and sister, then let them be brother and sister. And there's other ways around. You know what works? Make the whole Fantastic Four black. If you would have made all of them black, then I would have went with that. I would be like, okay, cool. Do it in comics first.
And let me,
if they're going to be brother and sister.
Let me add on to this. You don't have to make them black. If you're going to make them one race, make them any race.
Absolutely.
Just make them all.
Make them all Latino, make them all.
And quite honestly, it's only 3 you really need to fucking do. Exactly. One becomes a rock dude. Exactly. As long as he is orange rocks, we don't care.
Don't give a shit.
So them casting a transgender actress is great. You know, a lot of people say, oh, they're pushing diversity, or they're forcing. No, it's not. Shouts out to DC Universe for casting Chella Man as Jericho in Titan Season 2.
Right.
So, you know, because there's been this whole thing with Red Letter Media and other outlets have been like, oh, they're just forcing this. They're trying to push out white men and blah, blah, blah. Ain't nobody pushing out white men.
Hey, listen, man. Y'all want to get deeper? We now, as we're halfway into a comic book conversation, let's just have a LA Hollywood conversation.
Yes,
you guys. Hollywood as an industry is starting to become a struggle for white men in general. Because there's so many of them, and because the industry has went diverse. Marvel didn't say we're just gonna pick up diversity just because everybody's
the industry as a whole.
The industry, Hollywood goes with whatever's making money. Right now, diversity is making money.
Now, and I know there are people right now listening saying, "See, that's the thing. It's all about money." At the same time, it's money, but you do have people who are looking at it like, well, fuck, this should have been this way the whole time.
Yes, it should be a representation of everybody.
Yes. And so, you know, people are going to get mad about that. And again, you get mad about stupid things. And I don't get it. I think it's dumb.
Think about your kids. I always like to relate shit to my kids and or if my little brother or sister. Mm. If I had a little brother or sister and they were going through this situation, like randomly off topic but not off topic, I saw Amanda Seales special. I fucking loved it. as a man, there's certain things about it that are ultra feminine. But if I had a little girl, I would want this to exist. If I had a little sister, I would want her to see something like this. So like, we have to give Marvel credit, or even the comic books credit, because when they get it right, they get the domino idea. I think it's genius.
Yep.
For her to have vitiligo, and that makes sense for the spots on her face. I'm like, fucking brilliant.
It's not. It's her mutancy is her vitiligo
Yes.
instead of face paint.
Yes.
Like, yo.
When I saw it, I was like, this is the most beautiful thing ever.
Because you might get an unnatural thing. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
So so people got
Tilda Swinton as the ancient one.
Well, now here's the issue. Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate and jump back on that. So there was an uproar about that, about Tilda Swinton. Granted, Tilda Swinton has played everything from a man to any other race, because Tilda Swinton is the most ethically ambiguous person I think we've ever seen in Hollywood. Right. Ethically and fucking gender ambiguous. Now, the thing was, they couldn't cast, I think, an actual Tibetan. It was something about when they put the movie in China.
They wouldn't have
been able to make that thing. So that was a business move, and I understand for people who fall in line behind that. Well, it's changing history. I get that, I do. And again, when you say, well, how would I feel about Black Panther? The ancient one can't. I mean, we've seen that in history again, and I go off BT's litmus test of let's see if it works in the comics. This was one of those. We put anybody else in this because of what the ancient's original origin is. Right. We run a risk,
but it's also like it's also strange. It's like the space that we're existing in. Technically, the ancient one could be any variations over any lineage of people over any different dimensional spaces in time. It's like, so if you really got super nerdy about it, it's like, well, maybe it's from a different generation or a different universe. So it's just like that incarnation is not what we're seeing.
Which, I'll even go into something that's about to happen now with Shang-Chi. We're going to get the actual Mandarin. Mm-hmm. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all better be glad we're getting the Mandarin and not who Shang-Chi's real villain is. Right. Because you'd be pissed if you got Fu Manchu in this bitch. You'd be pissed. Right. Like a motherfucker.
He'd be doing the whole thing. He'd be doing the
goatee stroke. Yeah. You'd be real mad because you'd be like, we really going to do this? Yeah. So you have to give credit for them having the awareness and to not even just play the card, to do what is right. And speaking on different things about people bitch and complain about things, here's why I bring this up. The Black Widow writer, Jack Schaefer, has talked about the movie details, some of the movie details, how it goes with the Civil War fallout, and why she's not worried about trolls with the movie. Now, this is what she says. She says, the last time we saw Natasha, she'd been forced to go on her own on the run after helping Steve Rogers escape. Mm-hmm. And in this movie, we'll find her very much on her own after events of that movie. And she's going to be forced to reckon with some of the red in her ledger, which we first heard about in the Avengers. Now, Schaefer was also asked about the possibility that the female-led Black Widow will be trolled the same way Captain Marvel was. She's not letting that bother her. She says, quote, when people react with hate, it saddens me. I think it's a shame. But that's not where I want to put my energy. I'm not interested in the loud, sour grapes voices. End quote. I am so fucking glad she said that. Exactly. Because it's going to fucking happen. Right. There is, I don't even want to say his name because I don't want to give the dude credit. There's a YouTube channel. He spent months making videos talking about how Captain Marvel was killing the MCU. I don't understand how, when she hit the fucking $1 billion club. All right. People forget this. People be like, oh, just because it made that money doesn't mean it's a shitty movie. No shitty movie is going to make $1 billion.
Man.
You just didn't like it. Some people didn't like it. But the overall majority had to love it.
Yes. I'll give everybody this. As a person who sat and watched Captain Marvel and fucking hated it, I gave it another watch because in Marvel we trust. And the second time I watched it, it was eons better than the first time. It's when I go and see a Marvel movie, first of all, there's too much excitement on me. There's way too much excitement on me. I'm not really watching the movie as much as I'm just eating popcorn and I'm just like, Mama, coming out. Like, there's that part. And then there's the actual analyzing the movie, right? So then when I go back and I watch another time, then it's like, okay, cool. I know what's going to happen. All the filters are gone. And now I'm just watching the construction of this movie. It's like, okay, yes, it has these out-of-timeline things closer to like a memento thing where it's like, you guys are playing with the sequence of the movie. But once I'm into it, I'm like, this movie's fucking fine. Like, it's really not like, everything that I had on it as a person, I was like, I didn't say nothing the first week. I was like, I need to see it again.
And it's respectable.
And that happens.
Because
you go see it again.
And as somebody whose job is to cover these films, whether it be Marvel or DC,
right,
I had to find myself going in with a completely open mind, no matter how I may feel about a casting announcement or a plot scenario or whatever. And I watched it, I was like, oh, everybody forgets this is her origin story.
Yes.
This is her origin.
Which is super hard to do now because we've seen so many origin stories.
Right. It's hard. As a whole, people keep saying we want to see origin stories. You don't.
You really super don't.
You don't.
Definitely not anymore.
You don't want to see origin story. At this point we're at, you don't. But unfortunately, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. So people are like, oh, well, I don't like Brie Larson. Why don't you like Brie Larson before her comments about having more diversity in the press rooms? If you can't tell me before then I don't want to hear shit you got to say.
Right.
Because if it's just that, oh, she said she don't like white men. No, she didn't say that. She said she's tired of seeing just white men in her press room coverage.
Absolutely.
At her junkets. She wants diversity. Her movies are about diversity. Oh, somebody's like, oh, that's going to tank her movie. The fucking movie made $1 billion.
Right. And it was good.
And it was a good movie.
And like that, like now back to the, like I said about the Amanda Sister thing, the Little Sister, Big Sister thing. When I'm watching this movie and I go back and I redigest it, I see all the nuanced things that are, yes, they're pro-feminine and pro-Western, but I'm not just a man that's like uncomfortable in my manhood that I have a problem with that. I'm like, no, this is dope. I was like, no, some man in this movie, the whole movie telling her, don't be emotional. As a woman, that's disrespectful. That shit that they deal with all the time. Mm-hmm. And she was sick of that shit. Like, first of all, prove to me that you can be... Bitch, fuck you. Nigga, I got powers. You've been telling me to hold it back.
You already know I'm stronger
than... You know I'll fuck you over.
You know I will whoop the dog shit out you.
Right.
Like, so...
Yeah, so and that happened. And just to show I'm balanced, you guys, side note, totally random, off... in Avengers Endgame, when I saw it again, and Tony had just did the snap, and his face is like half toasty. All I thought about was Tropic Thunder, and when Robert Downey Jr. flew in blackface, which was fucking hilarious. I'm literally watching, and it's still tears in my eyes, and all I can hear in the back of my head is, "Who people?
who people? I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude."
Just to show my balance, I was like, oh man, Robert Downey Jr. in blackface.
So yeah, I need people to calm down about that. You do need different things to happen. So if the casting does happen, which it will happen for sure.
Right.
Because again, Supergirl cast a trans actress in the recent season. So it's going to happen.
And hopefully it happens a lot more. I've even taken that position like in auditions. Like I'll get an audition for something for gay or something like that. And I've literally told my agents, I'm like, yo, listen, this is not right for me to be playing this role, and there's gay people that need roles that are like hyper feminine or whatever that can nail this shit that I know are super talented, and you want me to take their position.
Yeah, and people say, yeah, I don't feel comfortable taking those roles because I know, like you said, there are people. It's not saying, oh, Jay, you won't play gay. I'm an actor. I've had you will have to do it.
Right.
But at the same time, when I know there are people that are really more deserving of that chance, then yeah,
give them the chance, man.
Give him a chance. So here's some other news about Marvel that I wanted to bring up. I got a couple more Marvel stories. I didn't think I had a lot, but I actually do. But, just the way these conversations go. So I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Marvel Studios reportedly has big plans for both Galactus and Tyrant.
Oh wait, this is information to me.
Yeah. So this is according to MCU Cosmic. Shouts out to the homie Jeremy. They are planning on working, and we're surprised. Not surprisingly, we're going to get a comic book accurate version. Now, remember Galactus that we saw in fucking Fantastic Four? Cloud Actus. I don't. Yeah, man. Now, what may happen is that Tyrant will actually be Galactus' first herald before we get the Silver Surfer. And we could potentially meet Galactus in the Eternals or have him referenced.
Yes.
Because there is a lot of things. Now, because the Eternals is going to take place thousands of years before the Silver Surfer is actually born, you could actually have them have, like, you know, this monitor, anti-monitor type relationship. Huh. So you can be that. But again, it could be. Now, it could happen in Phase 4. We know the movies. People will say, well, they just got the rights to these things. Kevin Feige and them have been working on stuff before the rights came official for a lot of characters. Right. So I think the Eternals is the best place to do it because you're going to get the origin of Thanos. The reason we're getting the Eternals, people are wondering about that too. For those who don't know, the reason why we're getting the Eternals, you need the Eternals to further go in depth with the cosmic and galactic storylines we are going to have in Phase 4 and beyond. Maybe Phase 5 too, and primarily Phase 4.
It's a higher power level of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's a very higher level of that.
It's Guardian of the Galaxy, higher power level. You need to know that these things.
You need to know these things.
No living tribunal, no none of that shit without establishing Eternals.
You can't go anything further. So when you see, we may get a reference to Ego the Living Planet.
Okay.
Because Ego is a Celestial.
Yeah.
So we may get a Kurt Russell cameo somehow, some way.
Okay.
We may. I mean, there's no guarantee, but we might. Because he's a
part.
Jay
Washington confirms.
Huh?
Jay confirms. Jay Washington confirms.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's certain... Look, BT don't seem to realize this. There's certain shit I've confirmed on this podcast that motherfuckers have thought I was crazy to tell them.
Yeah.
And they were like, that ain't happening. I will consistently go back to recent when I told you motherfuckers in April, J. Jonah Jameson was going to be played by J.K. Simmons.
Yes.
Nobody wanted to believe me until they saw Spider-Man Far From Home. Everybody's like, oh, well, I didn't really, you know, I didn't want to believe. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So, you know, I did say that we do have the Fantastic Four already. They just have not been announced yet. I would not be surprised if they are announced at D23. People are like, they ain't got no Fantastic Four. You think Marvel Studios has not already cast the Fantastic Four?
Right.
You really think they knew this was coming over? When the deal started being talked about, that this was one of you have to have Marvel's first family.
Right, yeah.
And you're going to do it justice. We've teased it in the fucking Spider-Man Far From Home in the post-credit scene where where what used to be Avengers Tower, what's coming next? 1, 2, 3, question mark. Right. The Baxter Building will be there.
The Phase 4,
Fantastic Four. Yeah, so that may happen. But again, if we get a real Galactus, we get a, you know, I don't want to see Cloud act this because that shit was terrible.
Yeah, that Galactus was terrible. That movie, I don't think it's atrocious.
I don't think the movie is atrocious.
It's just that very moment.
Yeah, just
because I love Surfer in there, but it was just like moment. I was like, I shouldn't say I love Surfer. I love Silver Surfer. It was great to see him.
Yes,
and the movie was digestible. Like it ain't Ghost Rider 2. Now that is arguably
I'm about to walk off my own podcast. You brought
that's arguably the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. So if I say something's trash, it's fucking trash.
Yo, when you bring up Spirit of Vengeance, oh dear God. Well, some other movie I don't like to really talk about, but guess what? It's a Marvel film, so I have to talk about it. Venom 2. Now, I am not a big fan of Venom, and I know it made $800 million. And I still to this day will say it made $800 million to spite people.
You didn't like Venom?
Fuck no!
Really?
No!
Okay. I enjoyed the character villain. I enjoyed Hardy as Venom. I did not... The movie aesthetic of it was all over the place.
No, here's where I had a problem with. Riz Ahmed was a terrible villain.
Yes.
Terrible villain.
Agreed.
Riot as the symbiote is basically big-ass Venom doing everything Carnage does.
Yes.
It was like, the fuck. Tom Hardy was just like, fuck it, I'm going to have fun. The symbiote telling Tom Hardy, I'm a loser on my planet just like you are.
That's a little
I hate everything.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Michelle Williams, you can tell she didn't want to be in this movie. She's only in this movie because it's Tom Hardy.
Yes. But I got full Venom tongue. That made me very happy. I got him biting off the head. That made me very happy. I hated his size. The size was there. It was a lot of things that I loved about.
I mean, he looked good as Venom.
I loved their banter back and forth.
The banter
this is dead. When he eating the steak.
He's like,
yeah, there's moments of it that I truly enjoy, but there's a lot of shit that is absolutely.
Also, I'll never forget Woody Harrelson in the worst wig in history.
Yeah, definitely had that. He definitely looked like Pennywise.
He looked like Pennywise mixed with Carrot Top.
Right.
Which mixed in with the cocaine.
It was a rough. But when I saw Venom, I was like, oh, I didn't hate this. I was like, it was alright. It was enjoyable.
Now,
like,
I guess because I'm a person,
popcorn
I just, first of all, I was one of those people from the beginning, and I know people say, well, you went in with a negative mindset, and I'll reference another movie after I get this one. I always said you're gonna do Venom without Spider-Man, which, first and foremost, really doesn't make sense. Because the only reason the symbiote has these Spider-Man abilities is because it bonded with Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
So, to tell me now the symbiote just randomly can do all this shit.
The Spider-Man-esque shit.
Yeah. It's like, meh. The origin coming from the asteroid on the in the space shuttle, I'm fine with. But when you did that, I was like, all right. Then you tell me Tom Hardy's going to play him. Well, Tom Hardy played Bane. And Tom Hardy's like 5'6". Right. So then I like.
But they gave us real size on Venom.
They gave real size on Venom.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I didn't complain about the height.
I thought that they were going to fuck up Venom. Venom, they didn't fuck up. They fucked up the script.
Okay, I'll agree with you on that.
Like Venom, even the visual aesthetics of it, like, no, I don't hate this. You guys,
I don't hate this Venom.
Yeah, I don't hate this Venom, but there's like a lot to not like about the movie.
Yeah, but nonetheless, let me move forward. The Venom sequel is moving forward, and supposedly, reportedly, we may officially have a director. Now, there was talks of several directors being in the talk for this. Rupert Witter was in it. Travis Knight, Andy Serkis. Well, people are speculating, thanks to a post Tom Hardy put on his Instagram, that the official director of the Venom sequel will be Andy Serkis.
Okay. All right.
I'm for it. Has
Serkis ever directed anything before?
He did the Mowgli Life in the Jungle Book type movie.
Okay.
So he's directed before. This isn't a first time property.
Physicality will be there for Venom, that's for sure.
Oh, you never know. Fucking around. Andy Serkis gonna put on a mocap suit and be somebody. But I mean,
I don't like.
Let me before you say something. I have to tell you about the other movie I went in saying fuck this movie.
Okay, I'm listening.
Batman v Superman.
Okay.
Here's why I went in. When we saw the trailer the first time of the Batmobile swiping Superman's leg and going to the side, tell me, do you bleed? You're not getting out that car that easy. I don't give a shit how much you rip the doors. Right. This metallic ass dense thigh. The Batmobile. No!
Yeah.
It was, and then I was like, all right, some of this shit ain't believable. I still got to deal with Ben Affleck. I'm going to go watch it. Then I watched the theatrical version. And I wanted to fight everyone involved with this film.
I didn't hate Batman vs. Superman either. I didn't hate it. It's like Batman vs. Superman is definitely better than Justice League. I don't even think it's
okay. That is no comparison. Justice League is terrible.
Purple skies, baby.
Justice League is terrible.
But I'm watching like I would
CGI vines for no reason.
Vines everywhere. When Batman v Superman comes on, like if I'm not doing anything, like it'll catch me because the rewatch on Batman vs Superman is actually reasonable. I love that fucking that you get Doomsday. I love that he kills fucking Superman because it's like little annoyances. The only thing that I really fucked up is you just gotta let Superman be dead for way longer.
I don't like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, as I like to call him, Michael Cera Light. Because that's what he is.
He's definitely not. He definitely doesn't give you like demented and like
diabolical genius.
Yeah,
I get he is, and people are like, oh, it's a different take on Luthor. That is a take. I'm not gonna watch Lex Luthor put Jolly Rancher's candy in another man's mouth. Yeah. I'm just not.
But they gave you Detective Batman, which we hadn't seen, which was beautiful. I was like, oh,
we finally see it. Yes. Which the Batman is a full Detective Batman, which I'm perfectly fine with. But I digress. I just want to mention. I went into.
Make sure just out of curiosity, what is your favorite DC and or Marvel? Oh, both. Ooh, since we have here.
Yo, you on bullshit. My favorite DC is a DC or DCEU movie, or does it matter?
It don't matter.
My favorite DC movie, DCEU movie,
Green Lantern.
I will kick you out my house physically. Physically, nigga. I will pick my foot up and kick you fucking out the door, nigga. Physically. Jesus. You are a dick for that one. Batman 89 will always rank high for me, no matter what.
This is Keaton number one.
Keaton number
Black
one.
and white. Red and green.
Yep.
Okay, got you.
Nicholson, all that. Prince doing the soundtrack. Wonder Woman.
Okay.
The first 2 acts.
Okay, yes.
Because the third act is Zack Snyder, and you can see it, and it's horrible.
Zack it in the mood.
And Shazam.
Really?
I fucking love Shazam. And I'm going to tell you why. Well, I didn't love it like, oh my God, I'm head over heels on it. Because Zachary Levi shocked the shit out of me in Shazam.
Okay, that's fair. I think if I had to, I would definitely go Batman Begins number 1.
Oh, fuck, I'm sorry. Can we please remove Shazam from the list? Batman Begins.
Yes, Batman Begins.
Yeah.
I like Begins more than I like Dark Knight.
Really?
Yeah.
You like watching him become Batman?
I like watching him become Batman. I think Scarecrow is. You still had 2 villains. You still had Al Gore, and you still had Scarecrow, and I didn't see things coming like I did. Okay, here's the thing that gets lost. I love Dark Knight.
Uh-huh.
The rewatch on Dark Knight is not that great for me. It just isn't.
It's a long movie. Dark Knight is very long.
Yes. It's long and it stalls.
And yes, it does.
When Heath's not there. When Joker's on screen,
it moves.
Every time you're very happy.
Yep.
It opens great. It has great moments within it. Every time you see Heath, it's a good time. I loved once we got to actual Two-Face, but there's a lot of dead space.
Oh, it's a lot
for me.
No, I agree.
And people see, for me, it's like the way I rank them is like when I go in to see the movie, how good is it, and what do I leave like? Whoo! Then what is the rewatchability? Because those 2 things are equal for me.
Yeah.
So if I had to go, I would say So I would say Batman Begins is number 1. Then I would probably go. I like that first Batman, man. That first Batman is.
You never saw anything like it.
Yeah, it was solid. Or even I like Batman Returns a lot too, though. But
because Batman Returns is not a kids movie.
Yeah,
I just want y'all to just the pussy I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I just want you to know it is not a kids movie.
Yeah, and then I'll go Dark Knight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let me go back and get this Marvel news done. So in other news, Cloak and Dagger and the Runaways. A crossover is for sure happening. Yes, they just dropped. It's going to happen on Runaways Season 3, which drops in December. Ryan Sands, Brittany Ishibashi, and Angel Parker. I'm mad y'all didn't tell me.
What up, Ryan?
I'm so mad y'all didn't tell me. Like, Ryan, you could have texted me like, hey, don't tell nobody.
Right.
But this is happening. Like, I wouldn't have told nobody, and then I wouldn't have acted Brand. I'd have been like, you know what? Low key, I knew.
Right.
I was like, oh! When I said, but also, you knew it was happening. When Chase saw everybody's death, he saw his worst fear. The only person that can do that is Tyrone.
Gotcha. And
at the end of Cloak and Dagger Season 2, when they catch the bus, they leave in New Orleans. Where they head? Somewhere else. They're heading west.
Wow, that's okay. Yeah. When does this come out?
In December of this year. And I will do a full review on Runaways when it drops. I will be getting the screener. I have the screener access to them when they come out, just so y'all know. I'll be able to give you good reviews on that, and I'll definitely be looking forward to that crossover. My last little bit of Marvel news that I have. Now, we know Blade is happening. Okay, we know Blade is happening. We know Mahershala Ali is going to take up the mantle. We know that Wesley Snipes has been cool with it. I swear to God, it took me everything in my power not to text him and be like, hey, fam.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? Like, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to be that dude because I know he probably was getting it. But I did text him happy birthday and we talked back. So, he's cool with it. He's fine with it. And I think if Wesley Snipes is fine with it, everybody else should shut the fuck up.
Right. You gotta get over it.
When the actor themselves can say, I'm good.
And if I'm being honest, I wanted Blade so bad. Out of all the characters that existed, with Fox getting the deal done, with Fox and Marvel getting this deal done, and all that shit, I have been searching on how are they going to incorporate this dark element and all these characters that exist in that space into the Marvel Universe. The only time that vampires have been mentioned in the whole Marvel Universe is in Thor Ragnarok when Korg and Meek have the stick with the four, it has like 3 wooden stakes on the end.
Oh, yeah.
The only time it'd be useful if you fight 3 vampires. Like, the motherfuckers say vampires! I was way too excited. Vampires! Because this element doesn't exist until then.
Right.
When they, and not only is Marvel giving us Blade, but it's a thing for them. Because on Comic-Con, they could have ended this any way they wanted to, baby.
It was like, no.
Bombshell.
It was like, we got somebody else, just Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali,
yes.
like a first round draft pick,
yes.
and he put his hat on,
yes.
and they go to logo, you like, ah! I felt like Jamie Foxx in every scene of the Jamie Foxx show when the nigga passed out,
right.
Oh my Lord Jesus! Like,
and Mahershala already got a semi-vampire mouth, so I was like,
what, nigga?
He got like a narrow bite. I was like,
so.
Mahershala, I love you, baby. I'm glad you're here, baby. You know, he got a shark like, it got a point to it. I was like,
this nigga got a baby shark, dude. Oh shit!
This is my only thing. Cause and you know what, people weren't like my casting at all. Cause I had pre-casted him as the dude from, he's in Grownish.
Yeah.
It was Superfly. Superfly with the hair.
Nigga, I don't watch Grownish. You said in Grownish.
God damn it.
I did say yeah, like I knew. I just wanted to play.
So
this.
anyway, but you saw the remake of Superfly, didn't you?
Yes.
So yes.
Oh.
Now look. Now everybody. Oh, he light skinned. Fuck all that. He is a real martial artist. He really trains. He's been training his whole life. One of the things about Blade is a real martial artist. No different than the Shang. If this Shang dude, I do not need the Shang-Chi dude to be learning martial arts for this movie. Baby, I need you had been already in this life. The one thing I was worried about with Mahershala is, are you a true martial artist? But
the nigga's a great artist. Have y'all ever heard Mahershala Ali spit bars?
Exactly. But I know that how passionate he is.
He will train.
He will train. And I know he got time. I'm like, if nothing else, I know just as a passionate actor, he gonna make sure it's right.
Also, he came to Marvel.
Yes.
Marvel
I want Blade.
I want Blade. Not
yes.
Marvel came to him.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I think I talked about the story last week when we were leaving Comic-Con. So, before he won his second Oscar for Green Book, Marvel wouldn't have touched him.
Right.
But because he had just won an Academy Award and he called them, you have 2 Academy Awards. Yeah, what you need to talk about, fam?
Yes, we agree.
What you need? What type of coffee you need?
Yeah, Brie Larson gave me our number. She said to call.
No. They said, you know what I'm saying? Look, it was on my pager. You know what I'm saying? On my two-way. You know what I'm saying? So I knew to get back.
On my two-way, baby.
I knew to get back at you. So yeah, there is, so again, Blade is set to be in phase 5, right? And we don't know exactly what date is going to drop or whatever. But there is a director who is interested in directing it. And that director is Hobbs and Shaw director David Leitch. He's also the director of Atomic Blonde. So, big action type deal. He's known for doing that fighting movies. He can give you what you want out of this.
But what kind of movie is Blade going to be? See,
I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, because we know Black Widow's gonna be like Born Identity. We know that
Doctor Strange
is gonna be
horror.
What is Blade gonna be?
That's gonna be the interesting thing because Blade is a horror element when it comes to vampires, no matter what.
We don't need an origin story from Blade either.
Nope.
Definitely don't.
Nope.
And you know what I need? I need the motherfucker to pop up in goddamn Doctor Strange. That's what I need.
If you just have him say, "Hey, Strange."
All right. That's what I.
I'm so mad I just did this shit. Hey, Strange.
Yes, that's what I need. I need him to pop up, and I mean because and let me ask you, since we're here, before you jump off into other stuff, how do you think that they're going to transition a lot of these new elements in?
The Snap already did it.
Okay, that's why.
The Snap is the reason for a lot of things. It's the origin for a lot of things. The X-Men is going to be the hardest one. The X-Men will be the only one that's the most difficult one to do because you're going to tell me, like, we know that, you know, Charles Xavier has been a mutant for a while. Magneto and all. Magneto's story is predicated on the Holocaust. Could he be a Holocaust survivor and possibly get mutant powers? That's something they could do.
Yes.
This cosmic, he was around something magnetic or whatever. That could happen. I think it's just how the snap plays a real big factor. And Rocket said it. When Thanos did the snap, an unprecedented amount of gamma and cosmic radiation was emanated, and Earth was ground zero. So the radiation that emanated from the snap is the cause for mutants and all this.
But now within that, in that same breath, first of all, it wasn't one snap. I think it's four.
It's four. That technically makes it a thing too, because you snap once, but the second snap, I don't know how much effect it has because it's not on Earth. The second snap that Thanos did when he got rid of it. But the other two snaps, look, right now there are some blinkies being created. If you don't know, it's some fucking 3-eyed fish.
Right. Some of them goddamn fish.
Yeah.
But like within that, I'm like, because of the way the gauntlet is set up, it should cross all time, space, and everything.
It does.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's because the first snap happened there. The impulse, the majority of the blast was on Earth.
Right.
The impulse was there. Everybody else caught the after effects, which also will explain when Brie Larson said, your world is not the only world that was affected by this.
Right.
So, you know, everybody else caught it in different waves and different doses.
No, but I'm saying also in different time frames. See, like, the Magneto that exists now could be a Holocaust survivor, because actually the snap went through time and space also.
So you can say it. So they made the power. Okay, the second and third snaps are what it did. You know what?
Because of the time stone and the reality, so it could literally cross not only this world and right now.
So I just want y'all to know, I feel real fucked up that I didn't say this. I just feel like I should make this.
I'm coming fresh off of Endgame though.
Okay.
So I saw the other two steps. I'm like, yo, listen, they just went back in time. They already been playing in the quantum realm. This could have literally waved all the way back to the beginning of time and all the way back forward again.
I just want to say, for the record, I feel real shitty. I didn't think about this. Like, I feel I'm slipping, y'all. I'm sorry.
But that's what I was thinking about for vampires. I was like, oh, this is how we got vampires, because I was on some Blade shit.
I just want to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like I failed y'all.
Nah, man.
Because this nigga just came up with the dopest theory. And I feel like I should have paid attention. I should have been better on my game.
Oh, my game.
Because that's an amazing fucking theory. And if that is the reason this shit comes to fruition, I'm going to be pissed because people going to be like, yo, B.T. Kingsley said all that shit. And then I got to follow up with, well, he was on the Mad Titan podcast when it happened. So, like, it just really, I feel bad. I feel so fucking bad. Like, I can't believe it. Okay. We're going to move on.
Nah, man, we in this together, man. You done told me all kinds of stuff that came true.
Yeah. So, let's go to the DC news. I only got a little bit of that. We do have our Dr. Eve Connor, who has been cast for Titans. I just had the information pulled up. Let me pull it back up. So, we got just a little bit of casting information just for Titans and Supergirl. I know y'all like, Jay, you so unprofessional. I know because I feel bad because I thought I had that. That has really fucked my head up. Wow. Genevieve Angelson is she's from Good Girls Revolt. She's been cast as Dr. Eve Connors. She's one of the heads that started Cadmus. Of course, we're getting Superboy and Crypto this season. Titans drops this September. I will be doing reviews on that. And also, we have cast an actress from Van Helsing to be Midnight on Supergirl. And this is kind of dope because they say Supergirl is going to fight like 5 villains, multiple villains this season.
Really?
So, yeah, I really want to see what they do because they stepped the game up last season. I missed out on it. And everybody was like, yo, you need to get back in it.
I've heard the same thing.
And so I will definitely be checking out season 5 when it drops. I definitely will. One of the bigger things in news, in DC news, I wanted to talk about, because I know we've been talking a lot, which I have no problem with, and we filled out a time that I was like, goddamn right. The Joker movie is going to make its debut in 2 film festivals. at the Venice Film Festival in Venice, Italy, and the Toronto International Film Festival in Toronto, Canada. This is interesting because these film festivals are the quickest way to let people know your movie is going to be great or your movie is going to be terrible. And I understand that there are a bunch of people who are listening who be like, well, I don't want to listen to critics and people. I'm going to make my own mind up. That's fine, but you listen to me, and I'm a pundit of shit, and I try to keep it real with y'all. And I don't want you to go solely based off of recommendations. However, if Joker comes out of these without rave reviews, then what?
Yeah. Where do we go from here? Because it's too easy of a story. If you're eliminating possibly Batman and it's just his storyline, it should be extremely interesting.
Well, Todd Phillips, the director, has already said people are going to be pissed off about this no matter what. People are going to be upset because it is he's not doing what we should expect it to do. I'm fine. You've already told me this is an Elseworlds type thing, so it doesn't have to have that normal canon. I'm cool with that.
But how much Joker canon have we ever got into? Joker always feels a little Loganish to me. It's like
it is, but the Killing Joke is what finally gave us that. The Killing Joke finally gave us that, and so that's why we're getting this movie is like a blend of both King of Comedy, what was the other, Taxi Driver, and the Killing Joke together. So it's going to be interesting to see what the reviews are coming out of this. All right. Now, that is all I got in the news. So now I'm about to go and take these calls we got from the Mad Titan Podcast hotline, where you can call up 818-276-6947, 818-276-6947. You can leave your calls, questions, comments, concerns, and if you can't get those in, you can email me at madtitanpodcast@gmail.com, madtitanpodcast@gmail.com. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my first caller that we got right now.
How's it going, Jay? This is Tyler from Georgetown, Kentucky. 2 questions for you. With the events of the All Hail the King short and with the Mandarin coming as the villain from Shang-Chi, will Ben Kingsley and maybe even Sam Rockwell reprise their roles in Shang-Chi? And do you think Blade will appear in the MCU before his first movie, like in Doctor Strange 2, for example? Love to hear your thoughts. Thanks, Jack.
All right, thank you, as always, Tyler from Georgetown, for your call. So, 2 questions. First of all, will we see Ben Kingsley and Sam Rockwell potentially in Shang-Chi? I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
We see either Trevor Slattery still in jail somehow. Mm-hmm. As far as Sam Rockwell's role, it wouldn't be Sam Rockwell because he wasn't responsible for the Mandarin. That would be Guy Pearce. Would we see him as Aldrich Killian? I think it's possible.
What time frame is the Shang-Chi movie set in?
I don't know yet.
Yeah,
that I don't. I think that's the biggest question. What time is Shang-Chi set in? But because it doesn't have to be early, like 10,000s of years ago, because we're doing the Mandarin, and again, the Mandarin has been referenced throughout the entire MCU pretty much. Right. So you could play it one way or another. I don't know for sure. And isn't it amazing you just brought up where you should see Blade at?
Right.
And we just said in Doctor Strange 2 where he just walks up and goes, "Hi, Strange."
You just want to do it again.
Needed a reason to do it again. All right, so thank you, Tyler, for your call. So let me go to some of the emails we've got. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So Joseph Ashley says, is it possible that Justin Hartley from This Is Us, who played the Green Arrow in Smallville, also returned as Green Arrow for the Crisis on Infinite Earth show? We've seen all flashes. Can that happen? Very likely the boy from Gotham, but is that possible too? That's a good question. I mean, we've heard that so far we know Burt Ward is coming back. We know that Brandon Routh will be picking up the Superman suit, but he's going to be Kingdom Come Superman. I've told y'all this. They haven't announced it, but you're going to be fucking... Tom Welling is going to be Superman. Just want y'all to know this.
Said that.
I've said that several times. I would like to see Justin Hartley have on the Smallville suit. It'll be interesting.
I love Smallville was so classic.
But it would be interesting just to watch Oliver look at him
right.
And like, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
Just to have Oliver say something about that.
And the Smallville suit gives you that nostalgic feel. Because we all loved it when it happened.
Yeah, we loved when we saw it happen. We loved it. So it was no big, like, what is this? So we loved it. So it would be definitely nice to see that. But I mean, it's possible. And as far as the boy from Gotham, David Mazouz as Bruce Wayne. I think by time he's already suited up as Batman at the end of Gotham, so it is possible he be Batman in this crisis if they can make. But again, Gotham was a Fox property.
But how old is this guy?
David Mazouz is like 17, 18. But because he's been growing so big, they threw him in a suit already. I mean, this is from different Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Right.
This is Infinite Earth, so he does not have to be the Bruce Wayne that we know of. He's a different Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I don't want him to look too
identical to anything. Yeah,
the black and red.
Oh, like Terry McGinnis, like Batman McGuire.
Yeah. I don't think too much Batman because he was a slimmer. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you got to make sure he has the right weight on.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. I mean, this is the one thing that when they said Crisis on Infinite Earths and they're doing so much, this is definitely something that could potentially happen. So we will definitely have to see about that. I want to thank you for your email, Joseph, and thank you for your call, Tyler, man. That's about all I got for this edition of the Mad Titan podcast. B.T. Kingsley, man.
Hey, wait, don't you try to slide out of here. I asked you your top Marvel movies, too.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah. I was like, I put it in my mental Rolodex.
Okay, number 1 is Civil War.
You damn right it is.
No, I'm not Civil War. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Sorry. Winter Soldier.
Oh, damn it.
Winter Soldier is number 1. Number 2 is Black Panther. I cried during the screening.
Okay.
Number 3 is Civil War.
Okay.
And I refuse to try to rank the rest.
Number 1 is definitely Civil War. For
okay.
Me. Number 2 is definitely Civil War. Man, it's the best. And let me tell you, I just watched Civil War again. Too.
Okay.
1, the T'Challa that we got in Civil War
is a completely different T'Challa than Black Panther.
But he's great though.
Yeah.
So you get you establish Black Panther. You get Spider-Man. You get Ant-Man's first time
being Giant Man
with Giant Man, and his first time with the Avengers. And Civil War is definitely my favorite. And the rewatch on Civil War is amazing.
Oh yeah, now don't get me wrong. I've rewatched Civil War numerous times.
Yes,
I've always rewatched Civil War. I will never say I haven't. It's just that for me,
walking out of Winter Soldier, I liked it more. But once you know the reveal, then I know the reveal. So it's like I get those same espionage feelings that I got in Winter Soldier in Civil War.
Okay,
and that's the only reason I like it more. I'm like, oh my god, I'm just so.
I got you on that one.
It's like Civil War to me is Winter Soldier meets the Avengers. It's like I get all the Avengers in this political storyline thing. All right, cool. So Civil War is number 1. Avengers 1 is probably number 2 for me, and I think I'll go Infinity War after that. I just want to make sure I didn't leave that out.
Okay. I'm glad you remember because I wouldn't. Somebody probably was listening. Was like, is he gonna say his Marvel movie? Yeah. So I got you on that. But before I get you out of here, again, Give Me 5, the kickoff. It is produced by basically you.
Yes, man. So Give Me 5 is this amazing show idea that I came up with. It's basically 5 friends coming up with a top 5 list, but it's like fantasy draft style. So you can't say what the other person said. And we covered everything. We did basketball, we did football, we did black movies, we did comedy, we did a bunch of stuff. So I shot 8 episodes, high quality, coming out this fall.
Good.
Follow my YouTube page and Facebook page, and you'll see.
And he is doing the kickoff with that along with his birthday bash, like I told y'all earlier. It is August the 7th at the Bronson Bar, 5851 Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. There's a red carpet at 8 to 9:30 p.m. The sneak peek is at 10:30, and DJ Prince is going to be in the mix from 9:30 to 2 a.m. when everything closes in Los Angeles for some fucking reason. I hate it so much.
Right.
I hate it so much. Hey, man, thank you for being on, man. Tell the people how they can find you.
You guys, most importantly, and just not only for me, but in general, when you hear people say this, you guys press some subscribe buttons. It means a lot, you guys. Please, my YouTube and Facebook are the most important for me right now. I do content every day, prank calls, lives, sketches, stand-up, everything. So, but YouTube and Facebook are B.T. Kingsley. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and MySpace and Black Planet.
And I want to just say,
Snapchat.
I just want to say this. I just want to drop this in person because it's easy to do this instead of putting it in an Instagram post or in a DM. All y'all be doing these sketches. You know where I live. I'm not that far. Y'all all in the valley. Call me.
Done. I didn't know you was this close. Season now.
Call.
You be working hard, man.
I don't give a fuck. That's part of me working hard.
All right, call me, dude.
Call a nigga. You know
As soon as I call, here's the thing. My podcast. Gotta move. Side note, I would, in the essence of changing racially ambiguous thing, I would love to see you as Tiny from X Factor, X Force.
Yeah.
With the glasses and the little piece of hair. You fucking would kill that shit.
Thank you. Thank you. It's got me thinking about it now.
Somebody, say agent, man.
I think I still got the same agent for now. You know what I'm saying? I think I still got the same agent for now. So yeah, make sure I definitely do that because I definitely shot my shot to Ava DuVernay for New Gods.
That part.
I shot my shot on Twitter. Was like, yo, I'm out here trying to be your dark side.
I just want you in the little glasses. I don't know why.
I don't care. I'll take tiny glasses. But no, before I tell you how to reach me, make sure you rate and review this. Please go, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, rate and review this. The ratings push me up in the podcast charts. I've literally gone up about a good 30 spots, and I'm going up higher and higher in the comedy chart spots. And the more you guys review and rate this, please tell people to rate and review it. Get this bumping up there.
Share it, you guys.
Share it, everything. Make sure you're subscribing. Everywhere where you get this is everywhere available. Also, go ahead and join my Supervillain Squad on Patreon. Patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I got a bunch of exclusive stuff coming up there. That is where you can see my wrestling matches that I'm only putting on the Patreon.
Oh, say word. That's dope.
Yeah, it's only for the squad, man. They only getting it. I want to give a shout out to the members of my Supervillain Squad. What's going on to Adelia Chamberlain, Akeem J. Brown, AZ Badfish, Brandon Buckingham, California Joe, David Adams, DJ Snacks, Greg Morrissey, John Mariano, LK, Marcus Burton, Mikey Lito, Paisley Darts, Rudy Bueda, and Steve Tozen. Thank you all for being a member of the squad. You can join as well. It is only $5. Patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I'm doing some giveaways on there too. During San Diego Comic-Con, during the Marvel panel, they gave away exclusive Black Widow hats that are used on the production set. They only gave away 7,000 of them. I am giving away a lucky member of the squad a chance to win that hat. Man. So you have to join the Supervillain Squad on Patreon, all right? Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington. That's MRJAY. Again, you should know how to spell Washington. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/JAY Washington 80. I didn't talk about it on here, but me and Winston A. Marshall, we dropped the season and series finale review of Swamp Thing, and let me tell you something, that shit made me almost burst an aneurysm and a blood vessel talking about it. So go ahead and check that out. You'll follow me on Twitter at that Supervillain Squad. You can get your own Mad Titan Podcast t-shirts. Yeah, go to tpublic.com/user/Mr. J Washington. Get t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, phone cases, all that good shit. Walk around with your boy with the gauntlet on and go ahead and enjoy that, okay? I will holler at you guys next week. Till then, take care. I'm out of here. Peace.